Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be having a quick update on the most recent patch that came out for Borderlands 3. I just want to show you some things that I've done to tweak my game. You're going to see it's looking pretty ugly at the moment because I've been playing on fairly low settings. But there's a couple of things I've done to make my game run a bit better, and there's a couple of things that this patch has done to solve some issues. And the reason I want to start from the main screen is because it's I think the loading times have been shortened a little bit. That might just be my settings, I'm not sure, but it feels like they've been a bit more optimized. This game still doesn't play as well as I think it should do, but it seems improved. Quick warning, there might be some mild spoilers in here. I don't plan on going anywhere that isn't from early on in the game, but I think I'm going to spawn into Sanctuary, and there might be spoilers there, I'm not sure, so you've been warned. But yeah, I'm going to hit play and we're going to go, and I'm going to talk about a few bits and bobs. Now, something I don't have is a solid state hard drive. It's something I plan on buying fairly soon, and I think it's going to make their loading times even quicker. I know I'm loading into Sanctuary, which isn't a huge area, so it's not going to be too bad, but for the first load in the game, this is when it usually takes the longest, and you'll see for me that's much quicker. Now, if you watch the frame rate in this, you'll see that it will probably go up a bit faster than it was in my last video, and that is because for some reason, I turned, or somehow, when it finally gets to 60, my VSync was turned off, which meant that it wasn't at the refresh rate of this monitor. Now, it might not get to 60, actually, depends. Now, normally when I load into an area, this one's not been so bad, and I start sliding around and things, it does get quite choppy. Can I get it to hit 60 is the question, or 59.9 or whatever. Even on low settings, it's still not hitting that. But what you can see is that it sort of loaded a bit quicker. It doesn't seem to be as choppy as it was. Something they have fixed, aim down sights. I have not had any issues with aim down sights since the patch. Which is good. I'm not getting any stuttering. I'm not getting any, stopping. It just all seems to be working rather well, which is handy. But you can see generally, it's still high 40s, or it's between 40 and 50, so it's still not perfect. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast travel to Pandora. Now I'm going to go to we're going to go to the Droughts, and just kind of walk around and talk about what some of the tweaking I've done. At the moment I'm playing this game, like I said, on low settings with a few things changed, and I still feel like I should be able to play this on high, but if I'm going to play it on a high, I'm going to have to put it on 30 frames because the game just doesn't handle it very well. My components in my computer, I have 16 gig RAM, I've got an 8-core processor, obviously I have a standard hard drive rather than a normal one, and I have a 4 gig graphics card. I think maybe the graphics card does need upgrading to run this a bit better. See, that loading from there to Pandora much quicker, and you might see it now where it might just sort of stutter a bit. Oh yeah, you can see the frame rate is getting higher. It's not as choppy as it was. It's still going to be a little bit choppy here. You see it's not really going to be hitting 60. But yes, so one of the changes I did to this was because I didn't realize that my vertical sync was off. If I turn it off, it's going to go a bit batshit. You'll see in a lot of areas what will happen is it will try to... I've capped my frame rate at 60 specifically so that it doesn't go any higher than that. But with vertical sync off, I found that there's a few issues with just the game in general, and that might just be an issue with my computer, but it doesn't feel quite as smooth. So I don't know why it was off to start with, but a couple of things. Yeah, so I've capped it at 60, so there's no frame rate. Some of these things are going to look weird. Something I am kind of curious about doing is, what if I put the field of view down? Does that help? Ooh. Oh, that looks horrible. But yeah, knocking the field of view down probably means it's probably processing less, because a lot of these games, they will never process what's behind you. But you can see that's a bit too zoomed in for my liking. You can see how bad these textures are. Look at that. Look how close I had to be for that to even that's horrible, isn't it? And that's the problem with playing on the settings that I'm playing, and I'm putting that FOV back up. Oops. I like to play at 100. I did put it up, but found that it was dropping frames. But yeah, so even if I put the whole game on medium and go to the settings and go to the medium, you'll see that unfortunately, like 14 frames just in this menu here. Watching that frame count go up. Ooh. So it's obviously changing things over as we speak. So I'm just gonna see if this goes up or anything. Oh, just thinking about it. Because I've just upped everything, you can see just how like it might hit higher than 30. I don't know. Oh, we're in 40. But there's definitely, even regardless if there is issues with my computer, and some of the things that I need to adjust within it, namely maybe the graphics card, and obviously a solid state drive would help a little bit. The game still needs a bit of work, and it's not being too frustrating playing on normal, on low settings and things, but you've still got the issue that it just doesn't feel like the game's quite there yet in terms of optimization. Like, I feel like I should be able to play this on normal at capped frame rate of 60, but it doesn't seem to be able to do that particularly well. So yes, I know people are going to say it's your components and whatnot, but I hit the recommended parts, so I know that I can run this game, and I would at least expect to be able to play it on medium, with a good solid frame rate. I mean, the fact that this is running at, you know, it's about 40 frames, which isn't good. Like, if I capped it at 30 and played the entire game at 30 frames, and I could get it solidly at 30 frames, then maybe. But I don't really want to play a PC game at 30 frames, so. But, you know, look, I can go around over here and I can get more like up more nearer to 50. As soon as there's like explosions and stuff, it all just kind of goes a bit. Staying about 50, but trying to get 60 for me at the moment is kind of a hassle. But moving around and there you go, there was a bit of loading in there, a bit of stuttering. But yeah, the things that's definitely got fixed are the fact that I can now aim down sights and there are no issues. I've not had any issues at all. Put on that one. Which is great, which means that I'm no longer like doing this and then it's like stuttering. Most of the frame issues I've just kind of dropped everything down to low, which I'll do now again. I kind of had texture streaming down low, but I might leave that on. We'll just see if it. It'll probably take a few bit of time, but like all in all, it's been comfortable playing with it on these settings. It's just a shame because ideally I'd like to play it on like a much higher settings at 60, but I can't really do that. What I'll probably do is when I got the solid state drive, is do a quick update on that and to see if it's if that helps run things a bit smoother, if it helps hit that 60 frames more consistently. And obviously I'll keep an eye on the patches that they release for the game to see if they're optimizing things and whatnot. Like overall I think the game is better now. Like being able to like look down sights and have those issues, and having messed around with the settings, I can get a more consistent frame rate. But just be aware on PC that I still think this game needs a little bit of work, and obviously I need to look into potentially changing up some components. But ooh, nice lighting there. But regardless, I thought I'd just do this quick update just to give you some kind of idea of how my rest of my experience has been since the patch. Since doing some intensive areas. In fact, for the sake of seeing how things go, let me see if I can. Apologies for spoilers, but let's find a area where I can do some fighting. Let's see what happens if I go to a place where there's lots of enemies, and let's see how it runs. It shouldn't be too bad. I've not really noticed it too much. Obviously my settings, now I've put them back to low. I did actually have texture streaming on low as well, but we'll just see what happens playing it on low right now into a fight, and we'll go from there. Now you might see, and this is a much bigger area, you might see that my game might chug a little bit when it loads in to start with. If I had VSync off, it definitely would. But with VSync on, it might do it a bit quicker. We'll see. Oh, you can see it's already doing it. Yeah, so when I load it to most areas, this is what happens. It's not as bad as it was. It's definitely been a lot quicker, but yeah. And I'm hoping that an SSD will fix that part of it. Just so that... spoilers on the vehicle. But yeah, hopefully that will fix things. But yeah, let's go into combat. You can see it's only running at 30. Oh! But yeah, I've been generally managing to get the game to run better overall, so which has been good. But if I'm going to go in here, we're going to do some combat. I'm going to use this gun because it's probably the least spoilery. Yeah, you can see it's not particularly, what, 30? It's chugging along. It's not great, is it? So I'll probably knock the texture streaming down in a second to show what I mean by that. Get that out.
End of the road for you.
It's just, but yeah. I'm still, like, in terms of gameplay, the game's great. I will have a video up fairly soon, discussing the gameplay and things like that. Oops, what am I doing? But in combat, you can see in this area itself, I'm waiting for the texture streaming to see if it sorts itself out. But down at 30, man, like. And this is why, like, you know. People probably will look at this and be like, hey, it's, you know, it's your computer and all this other stuff, but regardless, having it on these settings, like having the recommended stuff is kind of weird. I feel like it should be running better, but I won't know until getting various components if that makes much of a difference. But I definitely don't think it's all on me. I definitely think there's some optimization that still needs to be done, and some changes that they should be doing. I mean, you can see just me running around here, it's not particularly smooth. Ah, so you deal with them. I never bother to melee them.
I'm on fire! But not literally.
I don't know if I've actually managed to hit 60 once in this area. That kind of sucks. And I'm pretty much done with most of the stuff in this game, so... But yeah, like, hopefully this is just a quick update show. I'm not doing this to just rag on the game again and just be like, you know, fix the problems. There's genuinely things that I've done that's helped make the game run better and play better. But I still think it needs some work, and hopefully in the coming time they will do that, and it will get better. And then when I've bought some new parts for my computer in the coming months, I will do some updates and sort of explain what I've done to change things and so on and so forth. But that's going to do it for me today then, guys. Thank you very much for watching as always. If you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more of this content, hit subscribe. And obviously comment down below again if you've you know, since the patch has come out, how's it been for you? And obviously follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You know, we're always there and respond. We can discuss things. But until next video, I'll see you then.